and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. In spite of the spike in attacks by the violent Boko Haram sect in the northeast, the federal government has said it is winning the terrorism war. The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bulos Dolo, told journalists on Saturday that President Muhammadu Buhari has mapped out a regional security strategy in collaboration with Chad, Niger and Cameroon to end Boko Haram attacks. According to him, Buhari's recent visit to Chad, Niger and Cameroon was to strategize not only on military option but to explore all the measures that could be adopted to address the fundamental causes of the insurgency in order to find a final solution to the problem. He stated that the governments of these countries have agreed that they will meet military option with economic, social and supportive measures that will also bring succor to the people. With the strategies being put in place, the war against terrorism will be won soon because we are closing in on Boko Haram. He said the president's visit to Germany and South Africa for the G7 and the African Union summit respectively were fruitful in the sense that it provided Nigeria with a wider initiative to resolve some of the challenges confronting it. President Muhammadu Buhari on Saturday promised that his administration will ensure that all cases of political assassination, intimidation and kidnappings in the country are thoroughly investigated. This, he said, would be done with a view to ensuring that the perpetrators are speedily brought to justice, irrespective of their political affiliation. A statement by Special Advisor on Media Publicity, Femi Adesina, quoted the president as making the promise while addressing state chairman of the All Progressives Congress, who visited him at the presidential villa, Abuja. Buhari was said to have told the APC chiefs that he remains committed to providing a level playing field for all Nigerians to get on with their daily lives or participate in electing their leaders without fear of intimidation. Buhari also promised that his administration will continue to strengthen Nigeria's criminal justice system to curb the reign of injustice and impunity in the country. The president said, and I quote, "At every point, the law must be supreme and everyone must respect the law if our democratic system is to survive." Barely 24 hours after meeting Senate President Bukola Saraki, 25 state chairmen of the All Progressives Congress have held closed-door talks with President Muhammadu Buhari. The meeting is in line with efforts to finally lay to rest the intra-party crisis erupted over the leadership of the National Assembly. But speaking with House State House correspondent, the party chairman simply said they were at the presidential villa to congratulate the president.
Almost to congratulate Mr. President for being elected as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and secondly to thank him for what he has been doing to this country and what he's been doing to the APC, more especially on the recent little crisis that he has now stepped in to resolve, and we are happy that things are now taking proper shape.
So what did the president tell you?
Now he promised that he will continue to be a true party man. He is upholding the party's primacy, and he assures us that he will not rest on his oars until he sees that Nigeria is back on its track.
The APC is receiving criticisms about low start. What's your reaction? What's the reaction of the...
No, it depends upon how someone views it. You can call it low start, but I am calling it a great start.
How great is it at a time people are saying he has hit the ground but he's not running yet?
He is running because the country is being run, and I think everybody now knows that we have run out, or we are now not in the old administration of impunity and other things like that. Everybody is now obeying rules, and everybody is now understanding that yes, Nigeria is trying to is now being repositioned and for greater height. And if you go around, even when I'm coming from Kano yesterday, there was no checkpoint, there was nothing. Somebody was telling me it's because of the change of government. So we have started seeing changes.
The army authorities plan to deploy new cadets to join the military operation against the insurgents in the northeast Nigeria. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Kenneth Minimo disclosed this at a personal parade of 152 cadets of the Direct Short Service Commission, Course 22 in Jaji. He said in a speech that he expects them to bring the training to bear in defending Nigeria's territorial integrity. Breaking news just reaching us says suicide bomber killed 6 people in an attack on a church in Portiscombe, Yobe State. More reports in a subsequent bulletin. Nigeria's military authorities say troops have discovered a jeep full of improvised explosive devices during a cordon and search operation near Maiduguri. The discovery was in the aftermath of suicide bombing attacks on Zabamari Muna. Defense spokesman Major General Chris Olukolade said in a statement that the jeep, along with 2 Hilux, were destroyed in the course of an encounter with the group. He said the terrorists were trying to escape after simultaneous attacks on targets in the communities on Thursday and Friday. The defense spokesman noted 6 suicide bombers had detonated themselves around the garage, killing scores of people, including 1 soldier. Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State has said he is on top of the relocation of Boko Haram suspects to Equilobio prisons in the state. This is contained in a statement signed by James Eze, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Media in Awka on Saturday. According to the statement, the governor is still speaking with the relevant authorities to ensure a peaceful resolution of the issue. He urged the people to go about their normal businesses while he continues to engage the relevant authorities on the matter. You're still watching CoreTV News on the hour. We'll take a quick break. I'll be back on my stories. Please stay with us.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today, not a poor people.
Will bring to you divergent views.
You know my position about his level of competence or otherwise.
News making the headlines.
I didn't go to school so that people can intimidate me with their ideas, no.
Sometimes it gets confrontation.
If you become governor, you're going to bring back Okada. You will bring back the market women back on the streets.
They don't put words into my mouth.
On Core Digest,
Stop making innuendos.
every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
For more news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also, visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV under the space the news. And communes are beginning to pour in for the former INEC boss Atairu Jega after bowing out of office as the most disciplined and articulate electoral officer who succeeded in revolutionizing the history of electoral conduct in Nigeria. Since his leaving office, key politicians and political commentators have challenged his predecessor to surpass his achievements and uphold the principles Jega stood for. Another twist to the issue has also been the reaction to follow the presidency's appointment of Aminu Zakari as the new acting chairman of Mohammed Wali, who was INEC chairman for only 3 hours. Our correspondent Tamotayalo has the rest of the story in the special report.
June 8, 2010, when he was appointed by President Goodluck Jonathan as the new INEC chairman, subjected to Senate confirmation as a replacement for Maurice Iwu, who had vacated the position on 28 April 2010. Professor Atairu Mohammed Jega would set to work with the 2011 elections as his first assignment, although some voiced concerns that it would be too late to implement real reforms before the first elections conducted by Jega, which sailed through but not without a great need for adjustment. 4 years later, the now former INEC boss Atairu Jega faced fierce criticism from both the opposition and the ruling party before and during the elections, especially with the drama of a general coalition's point, an experience Nigerians would not forget in a hurry. Ultimately, Jega sailed through the many challenges and earned him accolades by all and sundry.
Jega came, introduced the card reader, and that card reader was a bomb, was a blinder. Before they could recover, the elections has come and gone.
With Professor Atairu Jega, we saw that the level of violence that characterized our election went down drastically. The level of post-election litigations was drastically reduced.
Also praising Jega is the representative of persons living with disabilities in Nigeria, who testified that the former chairman of INEC did not only pass the credibility test and reflected the wish of Nigerians, but he also made the electoral process accessible to all sectors of the Nigerian population without discrimination.
The election is the first that I have attended or be part of that make me proud of myself as a deaf person. because when I got to my own polling booth, I have to train them, to teach Alapa, teach every one of them. Please, disabled people first. That was the plan of Jega, that we should be answered first, and they have to obey.
Moving forward, these Nigerians shared a bit of an advice for the newly appointed chairman of INEC, who will be deciding Nigeria's electoral experience from 2019.
I believe very well that this woman is in a good state because of the present political atmosphere and the eagerness of Nigerians to see that we continue on the right path set by Professor Jega.
No doubt, she's a woman, and I want to believe she's been in INEC for some time, and I have not had any issue concerning her, which means she's good. And I want to believe that because of that, then definitely, God helping us.
I pray that the new woman there now should do more than what he did.
But for this Lagos-based legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, Liboros Oshoma, he expressed reservations about the newly appointed INEC chairman, and while commending the former chairman for the feats he achieved in the 2015 elections.
No matter how independent or unbiased she might want to be, there will always be that allegation of she's close to the president. She's close to El-Rufai. She had worked with them before. They have a relationship. And then also that the way she was appointed, they brought her through the back door, make her acting. And then later, you now push her through the Senate for screening and all of that. While we are now saying that, yes, the way Jega came on board, fantastic. Let's take it a notch further by even advertising and then setting up a committee to screen whoever would be appointed as the chairman.
While many have rated Jega's administration as transparent, they however look forward to a more improved electoral system in 2019 and beyond. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The People's Democratic Party has said it will continue to demand the removal of the acting chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mrs. Amina Zakari. It said this was the position taken by the party at the meeting of the members of the National Working Committee, despite what it described as unwarranted attacks on its officials by the presidency. The party said it was privy to the fact that Zakari, who it claimed has a strong relationship with President Muhammadu Buhari and a very strong prominent APC Northwest governor, is allegedly collaborating with the ruling party to post two resident electoral commissioners of its choice to Kogi and Bayelsa states ahead of the forthcoming governorship elections in those states. The PDP raised the alarm of alleged moves to use the period of Zakari's stay as head of the commission to allegedly tamper with electoral personnel and materials for the two states in favor of the APC. PDP National Publicity Secretary Chief Olusamatu, in a statement in Abuja on Saturday, said President Buhari, in appointing Zakari, failed to take into cognizance the moral call to detach himself from the operation of the electoral body, thereby completely eroding the independence of the commission. Kaduna State House of Assembly have screened 115 interim monitoring committee in the state. The screening, which meets with the governor's nominee order, involved all the 23 local government chairmen alongside the councillors at the Lord Lugard Hall in Kaduna. They also screened and confirmed the nomination of order who, in their separate promise to contribute their quota in the development of the local government and the state at large.
My focus of development will be based on the agenda or the social contract of the APC government, that is making Kaduna great again. So we are going to make Zangon Kateb great again.
I intend to involve the youths, the women, the elders, in fact everybody in the community is going to be involved in this process of change that has started. I have come with a lot of experiences from the outside world, and I intend to display it in Chukwu local government.
As far as I'm concerned, I know the terrain. The Kaduna local government area is my own local government. I was born there and brought up there, and I am fully aware of the challenges there. All I will say is to seek the support and backing of all the citizens and indigents living or residing in that area, particularly those that are politically oriented so that we can move the local government forward.
The immediate past governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola, has urged younger generations to brace themselves up for future challenges. Fashola stated this at the 15th graduation ceremony of Lagoon Schools in Lagos. Abiola Oluwole has the details. His report.
As Nigerians continue to look forward for leaders that will harness the potentials of the country, the attention is gradually shifting to the future generations. Though the occasion was the graduation of students of Lagoon Schools, and it served as an opportunity for former Governor Babatunde Fashola to mentor this crop of future leaders, expressing optimism of what the future holds for the country. Fashola tasked the graduating students to always strive for excellence in their chosen fields.
Excellence and distinction continues to change its frontiers, and they must be ready to compete, they must be ready to surpass themselves, and they must believe in themselves that nothing is impossible.
The former Lagos Emsman also maintained that hard work is tools required in returning Nigeria to our path of glory. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The people of the Kenegbu community in Owerri State, capital of Imo State, often suffer untold hardship during rainy season, especially those around Stadium Lane. Many a times, water from the raining fall takes over the road and makes it difficult for both motorists and pedestrians flying the road. A visit to the community by our Imo State correspondent, Ajibade Awofesa, shows the situation of things at the scene.
According to some of the locals of Ikenebu community, the Stadium Lane Road has been worked upon for about 3 times now, and whenever rainy season comes, waterlogged takes over it, and motorists find it difficult to navigate the road. Only big trucks scale through with lots of struggle.
The Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board is to commence the screening of its pilgrims for the 2015 Hajj on Monday, July 6th. The Public Relations Officer of the board, Nuhu Badamasi, told the News Agency of Nigeria in Kano on Saturday that the screening would be conducted at the headquarters of the 44 local government areas of the state. According to him, the exercise is aimed at ensuring that the pilgrims are screened physically to ascertain their health status. He said the exercise would be used to stress the importance of having a male guide for any female pilgrim performing the Hajj. Man reports that a total of 5,537 pilgrims from Kano State are expected to perform the 2015 Hajj in Saudi Arabia. As Muslims observe fasting in the holy month of Ramadan, an Islamic scholar has observed that social vices among the youth will be reduced to the barest minimum if they can wholeheartedly imbibe Islamic social values. Lukman Idris made the observation during a Ramadan lecture organized by Owodi Ede community in Osun State. Rashid has more in this story.
To say that social vices among the youth increase by the day is stating the obvious. This perhaps explains why this lecture was organized with the aim of providing Islamic solutions to the vices. The guest lecturer, Ustaz Lukman Idris, identified diverse and guided use of the internet and bad peer group as part of the causes of social vices among the youth. He wants the youth to adhere strictly to the Islamic social values and also parents not to neglect their responsibilities.
If we are going to change our environment, or we want to curb social vices in our environment, we should make sure that we sanitize our agent of socialization. Starting from the family, we should live by example. From the family, from the school, the peer groups, the parents should take care of their children properly, and also the type of school you send your children to.
The lessons learned from the lecture are not lost on the participants.
You realize that most of the youths, what they are supposed to do or what they're supposed to engage themselves in doing as a responsibility to society and for the benefit of the society, we are totally neglected. And as a result of that, based on the lecture delivered today, I think it enhanced and it enabled most youth to know that they are responsible to their society.
I know what is my obligation, what is my duty for the upbringing of my children. What is the causes of the ruthlessness of the youth in the society? In Islamic manner, it's very educative, very educative.
He advised us as in where to send our children, that in an attempt to look for standard,
Some of us have succeeded in sending our children to where they will go and incur the wrath of Allah. It discouraged us in the aspect of looking for standard and jeopardizing the right of our children in the nearest future.
Participants also expressed optimism that Nigeria will have a secured future if the youth could see the Holy Prophet Muhammad as their model instead of leaders who are morally and spiritually corrupt. Rashid, CoreTV News, Owodiede, Osun State.
And outside Nigeria, Tunisia has declared a state of emergency just over a week after 38 terrorists, mainly Britons, died in an attack in the resort city of Sousse. Tunisian President Beji Essebsi said in a national address that exceptional measures were needed to face up to the scourge, appealing for international counter-terrorism support and cooperation. Security forces were criticized for not responding more quickly to the attack on 26th of June in Sousse, when a gunman opened fire on tourists on a beach and in a hotel before being shot dead by the police. The gunman has been identified as Students Resgue, who authorities say had trained in Libya. Analysts say Tunisia has been put at risk by the chaotic situation in neighboring Libya and by the danger posed by Tunisians who have gone to fight in Syria and Iraq returning home. The state of emergency will be in place for a renewable period of 30 days. The last time Tunisia declared a state of emergency was in 2011 in the uprising which overthrew President Zine al-Abidine Ben Ali. It was lifted in March 2014. A video apparently released by the Islamic State group shows 25 men being shot dead in the Asian city of Palmyra in Syria. ISIL said the men were soldiers captured in the city of Homs. Still from the video showed the killers to be young males, possibly even as young as 13 or 14. However, the video was distributed by a account known to be linked to the Islamic State militants. It is not clear when it was filmed. The killings took place in a stage at the front of the amphitheater before a large crowd. Several hundred men in civilian clothes were filmed sitting on steps watching the shootings. Among them was a young boy. Since capturing the city, IS has also taken control over a military airbase and a notorious prison nearby. More than 230,000 Syrians have died in the war, which began after President Bashar al-Assad's forces tried to put down anti-government protests in March 2011. And in the world of business, the Central Bank of Nigeria on Friday said it would do everything possible within its powers to protect the incomes and jobs of local farmers following last week's ban on the sale of foreign exchange to importers of rice, and 40 other APS banks said this in a statement by the Director of Corporate Communications Department, Ibrahim Mohazu. The statement was issued in reaction to a publication by The Economist in which it faulted the CBN's decision to ban the sale of forex for the importation of some items. Some of the affected items are rice, private jets, textiles, tomato paste, and poultry products. The CBN in the statement said that Nigeria could not attain its full potential by importing everything, adding that a huge rate of importation had weakened the operating capacities of the nation's industries. The new forex policy, the statement added, had now afforded the government the opportunity to begin a reversal. Under these circumstances, the CBN would do the little it can to protect the jobs and incomes of local farmers, using some of the same principles Western economists use to justify the protection of their farmers through huge subsidies. It said that despite that, the economic fundamentals remain strong as inflation was still within the CBN's single-digit band, with exchange rates stabilizing around 197 per US dollar for the last 5 months. Well, that's a wrap on CoreTV News on the Arm, and thanks for watching.